Well, we've got a real treat for you today, and I am talking about something smooth, something light, and something pretty serious at the same time. We are taking you on this ride into Pleasant Grove, where they have been grooving for quite a while. And this mare, she's got her groove back. I'm Shelia Smoot. Welcome into the Shelia Smoot Show. The Shelia Smoot Show starts right now. Jazz in the Grove, Saturday, June 6th at Pleasant Grove High School from 4 to 8 p.m. Bring your lawn chairs and bring your coolers and come on out and relax and have some great food from some great food trucks, vendors, and enjoy smooth sounds. It is absolutely free of charge. That's today, Saturday, June 6th at Pleasant Grove High School. We'll see you at Jazz in the Grove. I'm Shelia Smoot, glad to have you along today. I'm talking to Mayor Yolanda Lawson, and you know that Yolanda Lawson has been around. She was a city councilor before we got our groove back. I mean, you've been grooving a long time. But now she is actually mayor. I'm going to start right there first. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us in the great city of Pleasant Grove. We've talked to you over the years on many occasions for all the things you do, whether it's Jazz in the Grove or your cleanups or all the things you have participated in. And now we have transitioned, and let's talk about your new role. You are the mayor of Pleasant Grove. Talk to me.
Yes.
How did that happen? When did that happen?
Well, Ms. Smoot, I'm so happy to be with you. Thank you for having me on your show today. It's an exciting moment to come to you from a different seat, but same event. I'm excited that this is our 5th year working together on partnering in this event. So I'm super excited how I got to this role. Of course, I served as five years as a city councilor here in the city. And when I was about a year in, we started this event, and now here we are at year 5. That is so hard to believe that it's been 5 years already. So this is the pinnacle, the early pinnacle of this event, and I'm just super excited.
Yeah, for something to last that long, anyway, people come up with stuff all the time, especially in these kind of roles. You see it come, you see it go. What has kept you with this event? First of all, why did you start it? Because you started this on your own with no help, with no money, and you didn't even know if anybody was coming. Right. So talk to me about what that was back then.
So what I will say is years ago, back in 2016, I did inherit this idea from Miss Priscilla McWilliams. Okay. That was when they were having the Jazz in the Park series. If anybody remembers that, it was an umbrella from the city of Birmingham. So we had a Jazz in the Park event, and so many residents came out, and we received such positive feedback. However, we were not able to get it off the ground to keep it going every year at that time. But when I got into office in 2020, one of the things that the constituents talked to me about was something to do in the city. Mm-hmm. And what better way to bring that resource to them than to bring a fun, family-centered event back to the city of Pleasant Grove that gives us an opportunity to come together as a true community and just relax, enjoy, and it's free. So that was the motivation I had, was to bring that back based on the feedback that started back in 2016, to bring that back to the city of Pleasant Grove as a representative of the city.
And as a mayor, you love this music.
Yes.
This is not just something that she's attending or having for her community. You actually love jazz.
I love jazz.
Come from? I mean, you travel to see jazz.
Yes. I travel to see jazz, and it gives me an opportunity to see other communities and cities and municipalities and even states enjoy that atmosphere. And I'm like, hey, we can have this right at home. Why do we have to travel to get the same enjoyment? So that was one of the things that encouraged me and kept me encouraged to make sure this happened for our community.
You know, and you have to be intentional when you come to Pleasant Grove. I was very intentional about being here. And it's so cute, it's quaint. I mean, you have this sense of community. You have this sense of, it's like they call those bedroom communities.
Yes.
Back in the day. They call them bedroom communities. But you're trying to do something a little bit more to bring that life to it's not a sleepy town by any means. If you know the people who live here, I will remain not to tell you all of those folks. However, you are trying to bring that oomph to it. You are trying to bring a little spice to it, a little life to it, without taking away that small town mentality.
That's right. That's right. As you said, Ms. Smoot, we are not a through city, if you will. We're not a Huey town. We're not a Mountain Brook. We're not a Vestavia. However, we offer those same comfortable amenities that those cities may offer. So we want to make sure that we keep building on that. Our citizens have expressed what they want, what they desire, and I think that this is just the beginning. So that's why I think that events like this bring us together to give us just that platform to even entertain what's next.
Right. So. What is next? You are now the mayor, Yolanda Y. Lawson, mayor. We're in Pleasant Grove, Alabama. This is your chair. This is your chair in government.
Yes.
What are your plans? What motivates you now that you have switched roles? As much as Jazz in the Grove is still there, you have now switched into a mayor role.
Yes.
Talk to me about what that looks like for all of us who, are looking at Pleasant Grove in a new way.
Yeah. So part of it is just finding what works for us now. I think is the best way to put that. We look a little different than we used to, but our desires are the same or greater. So I think that it's just making sure that we get our citizens involved in the process to make sure that we're actually listening, effectively communicating, which means that they're not just talking to us, we're giving them feedback on what would work and what will not. So it's just a vision of a collaborative effort. And I think that that's what community is about. It's making sure that the least and the greatest voices are heard.
That's good.
And get away from not just the squeaky wheel is always the one to get the solution. We want to make sure that you don't have to come to us as a squeak, that you can be heard just as a voice.
Right. And you have rebuilt this town. You had a major tornado that came through. I forgot what year that was.
2011.
2011. It was a major. And many people left or couldn't rebuild. And so I've come through here many, many, many times since then. And it's looking good. I know you said one of your biggest problems, which was one of the biggest problems you had when you got in office, that I was really shocked by, because I always thought it's a neat city, but you said there were some interesting complaints.
Yes, there's some interesting complaints. We onboarded a director of public works, because a lot of our challenges dealt with just the simple cleanup of the city. And so we had this situation where we had the accumulation of trash, and we had the accumulation of debris, and we had the accumulation of just things that weren't becoming or inviting for our city. And so one of our direct, immediate projects is to work on cleaning up this city. A lot of people don't realize that, and I think that the lines have been blurred, that because I was a city councilor for 5 years, my transition into mayor has only been 6 months as of last week. And I think that the challenge has become, they picture that I was always there, but they forget that I didn't always have the authorities that I do now. So the ability to implement those authorities to make this city better, to make it cleaner, to make it more efficient, to make it more of the things that the taxpayers say that they want or citizens say that they want, has been my greatest challenge.
And you've had some challenges in Pleasant Grove over the years, and there wasn't really, I never saw the fist fighting or anything like that. It was just that I saw that the ideologies were a little different and things were progressing, and it wasn't a hard change. It was that things needed to be enhanced and get better as I saw you come into this role. But you guys, you started in this role, and the Pleasant Grove made a transition politically. You all had to make a transition by the law.
Yes.
It was almost forced. Talk to me about that. I was a little reporter. Did the story first. I got a call. Mr. Ryan Haygood called me.
Yes.
I told him to call y'all, and I stayed out of it. But it was something, and I have to also remember how that transition overall, where Pleasant Grove had to almost say, well, it's time to play fair.
Yes. So back in actually 2010, a lot of people don't realize it was 2010. We had a situation where the NAACP and the Legal Defense Fund recognized that our voting system was not producing what they consider representation for the demographics of our city. And so they came in and they initiated research, they initiated feedback, they talked to citizens and so on and so forth. So after the 2016 election, the same organizations, NAACP and the Legal Defense Fund, came in and they brought suit against the city because they wanted to make it a fair representation of all demographics. It was never about for me, it was never about color.
It was not.
It was about who actually represents all demographics.
That's correct.
And unfortunately for me, when I was just a citizen in the city of Pleasant Grove, while I was active in the community, I didn't feel represented or heard. Okay. And I'm sure that there were, and I know through conversation, there were plenty of other citizens that felt the same way. So I think that that's one of my driving forces now, is to make sure that I'm consistently fair across the board and making sure that regardless of what you may look like or what you may assume before you come to my office, I want to give you a fair opportunity to present your issues. And I hope that the citizens here are receiving that and can see that. Some still choose to not do so, but if you don't, I hope that I'm doing something that will make you change your mind.
Right. You're still going to run the city. You just signed up for it. There's no way around it. I don't see you leaving anytime soon. I think you talked about your passion prior to even thinking about government. You work for government. So why come into another government? Exactly. What's that balance like? How do you balance?
That balance is interesting. Yeah. I've had the opportunity to serve as an assistant city attorney with the city of Birmingham for 22 years now. And so I was very fortunate to come in with a working knowledge that I was able to hit the ground running. And it's very fortunate, not only for myself and my role, but for the citizens who receive the benefits. So you receive the benefits of that big city knowledge, but applying it to this small hometown.
Right.
So
how did you, I know why I ran. I also ran away from government. I'm just saying. It's my joke of the week. What hits you? Did you always want to be a mayor? What hit you? Or was it something that wasn't happening here that said, well, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to be about it. I may need to get involved in it at another level.
So I think that what changed for me was once I determined that I didn't feel that I had anyone that was interested in my voice, that transitioned to me saying, what can I do? And so I became busy in my school organizations. I became busy in my community organizations. I became active and present and actually working, not just my name on a roll. And so once that happened, then I felt like once those organizations were coming to the table to our city representation, we still were not heard. So how can I affect change? And that was to be a part of the solution. And that solution was for me to run for office as a city councilor. Once I became a city councilor, where you stand depends on where you sit. But once I became a city councilor, I determined that a lot of the city issues and concerns were day-to-day issues. They weren't just legislative issues, because your city council is there to legislate. And then your mayor is there to initiate that legislation. So I felt that I had something to bring to the table to make sure that those things that we had worked so hard from 2020 to 2025 to make sure were available or in place, were effectively used, and it just became an extension.
I'm Angela Webb Weinberg, your Jefferson County Treasurer. I believe financial fitness is just as important as physical fitness. That's why I created Get Fit, financially informed and thriving, to help you build strength, confidence, and peace of mind in your finances. Join me and let's get fit together. Get fit, build confidence, and thrive financially.
So I guess that balance, that love, that has to be a passion. That's just not something you sign up for.
Right.
It is hard to do both of those.
Right.
And she's such a good cook. I'm not even going to tell you. I wish you would have brought me a cake. You just do it all. And you come from a family that has some governance, and you come from that as well.
Yes.
Did you ever talk to your dad about that?
I
'Cause he serves,
I
right?
did. You're right. He's a retired city councilor. He was a city councilor in the city of Greenville, Alabama, which is where I grew up, small town, just south of Montgomery, straight down I-65, very small town. Population is almost exactly the same. I think their population is 10.5, ours is 9.4. So with that, even without that public service, I grew up in a family of servants' leadership and servants' hearts.
Yeah.
So it started in the church. It started in the community. It started with my great grandparents and my grandparents. And so coming from a small town, you learn that your neighbor is your family, not just your neighbor. And so with that said, everybody becomes your neighbor. Yeah. And so imagine having 6,000 homes and 6,000 neighbors. So you learn that when someone's in need, that even comes from the Word of God. When someone's in need, then you help them meet that need. You don't judge, you don't criticize, you just help meet that need where you can. And so I think that was instilled in me from day one, and I have just taken that with me.
Right.
So I'm thankful.
I am thankful too, because we've seen you over the years, and just to look at that, I mean, is it surreal? Just to look at you're the mayor of Pleasant Grove, and I was talking to John Rocket. He said, we're going to see who? I said, we're going to see the mayor of Pleasant Grove. She's the mayor? I'm sure people look at you, because I have seen you work outside of your mayor roles in so many ways. I just saw you at a fundraiser for one of your city councilors here, and you were doing the work too. Right. You were just in there I said, there's the mayor. She's doing the work. Right. You were working for somebody else. Right. Again, that's just who you are, right? Right. That's just who you are. You just don't.
I don't, Ms. Smoot, I don't believe that there are assigned roles. I think that you just get in where you fit in. You may see me up here making copies or sweeping the floor or watering the plants, or you may see me presenting to the city council in a formal manner or meeting with higher legislative officials. So I don't think that there's a role. If there's a need, fill it.
Oh, that's a good one, that AG gas station. If there's a real need, fill it. Yes. But don't let the smooth face fool you. She is very firm and very good and very committed to governance. And has that been a challenge? Are you just going to do this 4 years and say, it is what it is? But you seem to have some vision and some plans. I know you've gotten some funding, and I know you've got some big plans. Can you share just a little bit of that with us?
So I'm very thankful that we have higher elected officials that have chosen to pour back into this community. So I want to publicly thank Representative Sellers and Senator Coleman and U.S. Representative Sewell. U.S. Representative Terry Sewell, oh my gosh, she's so inspiring. And if you ever have the opportunity to be in her presence, she and Senator Coleman and Representative Sellers,
They love this community.
They do love this community. And I'm very fortunate that I have my senator and my representative as residents of this city. So they have an opportunity to see firsthand as they drive home every day and leave every morning, see what is actually happening. But it also gives them a chance to see their dollars at work. So I want them to know that I want the community to know that every dollar that's poured into this city, we utilize that and take that very seriously, and we make sure that it's put to use to the greatest benefit of our community. And that's why we need the community feedback. That's why we need the community engagement, the buy-in, because we want to make sure that we're not giving you something that we think is beneficial to the community. We want to hear from you. So
Let's go back to Jazz in the Grove.
Okay.
It's such a relaxing event. I quite love going to Jazz in the Grove. You know, who gets to come to Jazz in the Grove? Who are you looking for to come to the Jazz in the Grove? I can tell you now, we got D. Moss, who is your favorite. He's a homegrown saxophonist. I can tell you got all your favorites.
Yes,
All your folks are coming.
Yes.
We have that. But what are you looking for the community to get out of your signature event?
So what I'm looking for, it is a free, family-friendly event. We have a little bit for everybody. We will have, it's just an outing. It's an opportunity for you to get outside, to feel the fresh air, to be among your friends and your family for about 3-4 hours. Who I'm looking for at Jazz in the Grove is you.
Jazz in the Grove, Saturday, June 6th at Pleasant Grove High School from 4 to 8 p.m. Bring your lawn chairs and bring your coolers and come on out and relax and have some great food from some great food trucks, vendors, and enjoy smooth sounds. It is absolutely free of charge. That's today, Saturday, June 6th at Pleasant Grove High School. We'll see you at Jazz in the Grove.
And again, the key word is free 99. Free 99. Parting shots, Mayor, as we wrap up this segment with you. And thank you for having me back again for Jazz in the Grove. And the Shelia Smoot Show is always a friend. And, you know, we are just so honored to be amongst you, because before it's just, every time I look at this sign back here, I get overjoyed. It's really different when you're on a dais, isn't it?
It is. But I do want to publicly take the opportunity to thank you, Ms. Smoot, for your support throughout it all. So you were always that leadership role that was able to educate us on and keep us calm in those moments that we may have been a little frantic, but we appreciate you and your ability to go before us and clear some pathways.
Oh,
So,
you can
thank
have it. I've done my time, but I keep forgetting that was me too. A long time ago as a county commissioner, Jefferson, I was really honored, but it is so good when you see people like yourself. You know, it's a real thing, people. It's a real thing about leadership. You get more complaints than you ever, but you know, I'm the complaint girl. I started out in that business on TV.
But it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It is not easy.
And she's always smiling. You know, I got Kevin here, I got Rocket, they're smiling too. It's like, these two are always chummy. Yeah, it's a real thing because, it's a real thing. So I just want to thank you for letting us come back to Pleasant Grove. We're honored to see Jazz in the Grove again. We hope lots of giveaways. This one,
Yes,
giveaways.
yes.
You give the best prizes.
Yes.
You give, all you need is a ticket, and it's
And
free.
that's free too.
Everything is free. So come on out and join us at Pleasant Grove. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
We're going to see you again year after year after year because you are Jazz in the Grove. You know, you look like you got a little groove going. Look at you. You're just beautiful.
I'm Shelia Smoot with your consumer tip of the week. Looking for your tax refund? You can find it. Go to Where's My Refund? You can get information on your tax returns for the last 3 years. Now, there is also a phone app called IRS To Go. IRS To Go. It takes about 24 hours for the information to be online once you file as well. Now, it takes up to 4 weeks to get your IRS status if you file a paper return. Now, you can get all of this all through the year if you want to just find out what's going on with any refund now or in the past. And for more information, all you have to do is go to irs.gov. That's irs.gov. Live debt free. Here are 4 steps to keep you in control. Number 1, prepare for the worst case scenario. Come up with a plan to live on less. You never know when you might lose your job or end up with unexpected bills. Number 2, keep an emergency fund. You need at least 6 months worth of expenses in an emergency fund. You can do that. Start saving now. Step number 3, lower your credit card rates now. First, ask your credit card company for a better deal, which can work if you have a good credit record. And step number 4, to keep you in control, pay off your mortgage before retiring. Most people aren't in a rush to pay off their mortgage if they have a low fixed rate and can earn more by investing elsewhere. But if you plan to retire soon, repaying that debt can give you a lot more flexibility, especially if your investments are down and your other expenses have increased, which is happening to many retirees this year. I'm Shelia Smoot with your consumer tip of the week.
The Shelia Smoot Show is brought to you by the Walk-In Closet, where you can walk in with the best fashions and walk out looking amazing. By Memory Lane, your destination for retro shoes, sports shoes, and vintage sports gear. By Ray Carter of K.W. Hoover. Whether you're buying, whether you're selling, or just ready to talk about your next home purchase, Ray Carter is here to help. Just call 205-569-8599. And by Get Fit Finance and Trading, a program presented by the Jefferson County Treasurer's Office and Treasurer Angela Webb Weinberg. We are also proud to partner with the Central Alabama Fair Housing Center. If you believe you've been treated unfairly in housing, contact the Central Alabama Fair Housing Center for information, assistance, and resolution.
I'm Shelia Smoot. Thank you so much for joining us on the Shelia Smoot Show. Remember to come out to Jazz in the Grove, and don't be a sucker, be a consumer. We'll see you next week.
Jazz in the Grove, Saturday, June 6th at Pleasant Grove High School from 4 to 8 p.m. Bring your lawn chairs and bring your coolers and come on out and relax and have some great food from some great food trucks, vendors, and enjoy smooth sounds. It is absolutely free of charge. That's today, Saturday, June 6th at Pleasant Grove High School. We'll see you at Jazz in the Grove.